if you don't know me, I am Lakeisha Simmons, and I am the athletic supervisor for Annapolis Recreation and Parks. And I want to thank you all for coming to this long-awaited, much-anticipated ribbon cutting for our newly completed tennis courts and pickleball courts. On behalf of our director, Archie Trader, he could not be here today. He lost a very dear friend, and so he will be at the funeral today, so he will not be here. So please accept my apology for his absence today. He was so looking forward to being here and celebrating. Before we begin, I'd like to begin by acknowledging a few people. Our city manager, David Gerald. Century Engineering, the designers for the project. And the people, Pete Melitis and Tony Dietz, is that correct? Okay, thank you. Our contractors, Urban Zinc, Mr. Bobby Howell. Our awesome public works staff, Director Mike Johnson. Yay. Our Bureau of Engineering and Construction Chief, Sam Bryce. Mr. Matt Waters and Jesse Bernston. Our phenomenal, and I may be a little biased, but our phenomenal park staff, our division chief, Mr. Rodney Dillard, and his entire crew who worked so diligently well into yesterday and early this morning to make sure that the park and the courts look nice for us all today. So thank you all. At this time, we will open it up we will have a few brief remarks from some of our distinguished guests. We will ask that we're going to change things up because, like I said, we did have someone who was very close to the city pass away. And so our acting mayor, Rhonda Pindell Charles, will speak first. After that, we will kind of just transition and twist a little bit so that we can do the ribbon cutting, and then we will come back to do the conclusion of the speakers. So Acting Mayor Rhonda Pindell Charles will come, and then we will do the ribbon cutting, and then we will proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakeisha, and good morning to everyone. I want to expand a little bit this morning. Melvin Colbert Jr. Passed away on I believe it was Friday. Melvin was the executive director for HACA for a brief period of time. Mr. Trader and Melvin were college roommates, and they've been friends since high school for close to 50 years. So I just left the viewing, and Mr. Trader is quite upset about the death of his very, very, very good friend. And so I'm going to go back over there, have a citation, but we're going to take a quick moment of silence this morning for someone, and I quoted the paper this morning. It's on the front page. There are only two people in my life that I've ever heard never heard anybody say anything bad about: Mayor John Chambers and Melvin Colbert. And I think that's worth our pause right now to take a moment of silence for Mr. Colbert and his family. Thank you all. I know you have all waited for this day, and the city of Annapolis couldn't be happier than to host the ribbon cutting at the latest beautiful amenity to be restored at Truxton Park. I want to welcome and thank our tennis and pickleball partners for working with us to make today's event a success. Let me start out by saying that at City Hall, we could tell that the Annapolis community is very into tennis and pickleball. How did we know this? Because you all were making quite a racket. About getting these courts finished and playable. But seriously, looking out at the completed courts, I feel like the city has hit a grand slam with these beautiful courts and all the attendant timers and lights and other amenities. I want to thank Recreation and Parks Director, Mr. Archie J. Trader III, and his team for helping to play this out. I also want to thank Department of Public Works Director Michael Johnson. He came into the job in the middle of the construction, and despite some of the setbacks of drainage and weather, shepherded it through to completion. Thank you and your team. I'd also like to say thank you to Brian Callahan From the mayor's office, the courts joined the Kenneth R. Dunn Municipal Pool at Truxton that reopened last summer. It has been such a joy to see the families playing at the pool last summer and so far this year. As a city official and decision maker, there's nothing more pleasing than seeing residents enjoying our city amenities. In addition, the hiking trails that cut through Truxton Park turned out to be a great place to get lost for many of our residents during the pandemic. So many people discovered this hidden gem in Annapolis for the first time during the lockdown. It surely kept our recreation and park staff very busy, and city staff as well, prepared to keep up with the increased demand. In next year's capital improvement plan, we also have added upgrades to the boat ramp and skate park, making Truxton truly a community amenity with a little something for everyone. Having these tennis courts in play gives tennis players a little something to love. Compliments this speech of our PIO, Mitchell Stevenson. I know that doesn't settle things for the pickleball players who relish a good score against the tennis folks. But here I'm taking backhands at the two rival groups who will get the most out of these courts at Truxton Park. I hope in divvying up the new blended pickleball and tennis courts, you get into the swing of sharing. I know adults of all ages will make good use of these courts to play their sport, catch up with friends, make new friends, stay in shape, and enjoy competition. The courts will also be a place where our young people can get their start in a new sport, and I thank both U.S. Tennis and our local pickleball organizations for using today as an appropriate time to donate equipment to youth sports to enhance our City of Annapolis camp offerings. The Department of Recreation and Parks has great summer camp offerings, and I know that equipment will get used. Maybe we will find the next Serena Williams or Roger Federer right here in Annapolis. And this is my last word play of the day. I'm so happy to be here because now these courts will no longer be closed. They're kind of like a tournament that never closes because it is an open. Thank you and enjoy the newly open courts at Truxton Park.
Our next speaker will be former Director of Recreation and Parks, thank you. Former Director of Recreation and Parks, Mr. Dick Callahan. Yep, we'll get who we get. That's what we do.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. As an old Recreation and Parks Director, I want to congratulate and thank Mayor Buckley and the City Council for seeing to it that these courts have been renewed. They look terrific, really. The two oldest facilities in the park while I was there were the courts and the swimming pool. And this administration, they have responsibly enabled both to be rebuilt. Quite an accomplishment, really, quite an accomplishment. I was thinking last night what a gem of a place Truxton Park has become, right here in the heart of Annapolis. But we can't forget the Truxton and Marie Beal family, who in 1931 donated 33 acres to be used as parkland. We never should forget that. We wouldn't have the park. And by way of history, this was 33 acres then. And during Roger Pip Moyer's administration, we were able to acquire the land over on Hilltop Lane. And gradually, in 1981, we built, with a federal grant, we built the ball fields and the basketball arena and so forth and so on. And then finally, the crowning glory during the Ellen Moyer administration was the construction of the Pip Moyer Center, making the park a complete park. And it's just amazing. It's completed the park, and I think it has enhanced the quality of life for all the citizens in Annapolis now. So thanks for making all this happen. And I thought Archie was going to be here. I was going to tell him to be sure and make sure everything stays maintained and clean. I was going to tell him I'm going to keep an eye on him because I live at the top of the trail that goes across the footbridge, and so I can see the park, and I've been there for 43 years. So anyhow, it's a nice day today. Enjoy it. Thank you.
So next we'll have Delegate Shaneka Henson, followed by our representative from the tennis community, Mr. Randy Stevens, and then a representative from the pickleball community, Mr. John O'Leary, if they'll come in that order. Thank you.
Good morning. Who's ready to start playing? Yeah. You can feel the excitement that everybody has to get on the courts and to start playing today, and I share that excitement with you. I'm here, Delegate Shaneka Henson, representative for this district. I share representing this district with my very wonderful partner, Senator Sarah Elfreth and Delegate Dana Jones. This session, when we got an opportunity to take a look at the state budget, one of our top priorities were public parks. I think everybody got a renewed focus, a renewed energy, and a renewed appreciation for our public amenities. This city's project, as you know, stretches long beyond this session. And so when I look at these courts, what it is a representation of communities coming together, collaborating, and sticking through a project to the end. So I want to commend Mayor Buckley for his vision for the city's parks, Director Trader for making sure that all parties had a voice at the table and seeing this project through to the end. City Manager Dave Jarrell, who was an integral part of making sure that these courts are here to be a safe place for people to play, exercise, and recreate together. Enjoy the park.
Thank you.
Thank you. Randy Stevens reporting for duty. As the tennis director, okay. Thank you. I needed that. As tennis director here at the park and even in the city, when we used to play tennis upstairs on the wood courts 35 years ago, I started this job. And with that, over this, we've had lots of successes and lots of support from the community, as you see today. Thank you for being here and supporting us and supporting this event. And Lakeisha and her staff doing such a great job. Historically, Truxton Park here has had tennis tournaments, as many as 120 kids, and lots of clinics and camps for the last 30-some years, usually run by me and some of the staff that's still hiding out here, including Alex and Todd Redland and a bunch of the others hiding out here in the crowd. But for those things have certainly helped tennis in this area develop. As tennis continues to grow, it's up about 21% last year. And with this facility, again, Annapolis would be able to be a place for ACTA, Annapolis Area Tennis School, and City Recs and Park and Tennis Alliance to continue running activities and supporting junior tennis as well as adult tennis here. And every weekend you come out here, it should be crowded and full of people, I hope, every time. So personally, I want to thank the staff again for all the work they've done for this 4-year-long process, all the way back from Mr. Callahan in '77 when they first started this building and started this facility. Thank them for that. And as I speak today, I'd like to offer my resignation so that this new court facility can have new blood, starting off with new courts and new facility with a new director. I think I've paid my dues for approximately 35 years. So with I will still try to play, but I'm going to probably retire. So, and last but not least, I've been the tennis director, but there has been a tennis ambassador who has been here day and night, problems and no problems, cleaning and planting and doing everything to make this facility fabulous. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Chris Kamenoff and have Chris come up and thank the staff that has done lots of the landscaping and work. Chris, would you speak for me, please, for all the work that you've done? Oh, and where are the goats? Where are all the goats? Yeah, the goats, okay? We got to appreciate the goats. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Randy. Just real quickly, if you see the tags hanging off the trees, they were done by greenscape workers since 2003. We've planted 58 trees here. Imagine if you didn't have them, what the place would look like. It's been an unbelievable ride, There is so much volunteerism in tennis. We've got outreach programs, junior programs. The best is yet to come. And just a last comment. When USTA was here and ran their district tournament for Maryland and also their sectional, the comment from people outside this region was, "What a jewel! What a jewel!" Well, I think you've topped that. I don't know what the word is, but we do have a friend who passed away, and her word was, and it was Peggy Sanji, "It looks fabulous."
All right, I'm between you and the beer, I think. My
No
name
beer
is.
in the park. No beer in the park.
Oh, I got the wrong memo.
No.
My name is John O'Leary. I'm the president of the Annapolis Pickleball Club, and I'm here to announce my resignation.
Well done.
I'm just kidding. That was pretty good, though. All right, enough jokes, I think. Thanks for having us out here, and thank you so much. You really done a nice job. And I know it's been a long road. I look out in the crowd, and I see a lot of the folks that have been working on this for a little bit of time, and I see a lot of friendships that were made over that time. I know that some people think of that differently, but I actually think of it that there have been friendships made and that we're going to continue to make them. So I'll be quick in saying that, I know this past week that there were camps going on over at Pitt Moyer. We want to continue that. We want to work with the tennis clubs to definitely have a private-public partnership. Want to see kids out here. We want to work with the underprivileged across the board. We want to work with the privileged, underprivileged. Anyone that wants to put a paddle or a racket in their hand, let's grow this sport. We'll find other places to play as we grow. We're adding 5 a day with our pickleball club, or 5 a week, I should say. It's a growing sport, as is tennis. And the number one thing is that between the 3 organizations called All of Tennis, All of Pickleball, and the public outreach and the public support, I think we can do some pretty cool things here. It's not just about playing. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not resigning. I got another 6 months, 4 days, and 15 hours. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you to all the speakers who were on the program to speak for following the advice of former President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who said, "Be sincere, be brief, and be seated." At this time, we will conclude unless, Mike, if you had anything to say, if no one else. Thank you all again for coming. On behalf of Director Trader, we appreciate you, and let's play. Thank you. 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to keep this forever.
No, keep the whole thing. Keep the whole thing.